So this is Pugs Over Drugs coming at you with my deck profile from the Maplewood regionals that I just went to. I ended up getting top 25 with a not normal deck. Like, people didn't see it coming, and you'll see in just a second. First, you have the monster lineup, 3 Traptrix A-Tracks. When you normal summon this monster, it can't be affected by whole trap cards, like that's their bottomless and stuff. And then you can activate whole trap cards from your hand, so your trap holes, your bottomless trap holes, your void trap holes, your deep dark trap holes. You can activate those all from your hand on either turn, and they can't be negated. So that's why he's good. He's also an insect, which is important, that we'll get to later. 3 Traptrix Mermelio, best card in the deck, personal opinion. This is your searcher. You normal summon, you search for a whole trap card from your deck, so you grab your bottomless, you grab your normal trap holes, you grab all those good cards that you need. Also an insect, which is important, and can't be affected by whole normal trap cards, and when you special summon this monster, you target a spell or trap on the field and destroy. 2 Beatrons. I've never seen this card played in an actual good deck, but what this card does, it's a 1600 attack insect monster. You can target a face-up spell or trap card you control, send it to the graveyard to target a level 4 lower insect monster in the grave, and special it in face-up defense. You can only use this effect once per turn, but what you do is you have Fiendishes, you have safe zones, you have Call of the Haunted, you use all those, you blow them up, you bring back your Mermelio, blow back row, and overlay for your plays. So Beatron is the playmaker of the deck. 2 Doomdozers. I ran these because why not? It's Doomdozer. It's the coolest card ever. Yeah, and I picked up the Elties, and so those are pretty. But 2800 attack, banish 2 insects to special summon it, and when you do battle damage, you mill the top card of your opponent's deck. So I mean, he's basically the boss monster. He's the strongest monster in the deck. You bring him out, and then you try to swing over things. Normal 2 Fossil Dinos. Normal these because every deck in the game right now special summons a lot. Like if you're playing your Dragoonities, your Heretics, your Chaos Dragon, or your not Chaos Dragons, your E-Dragons. You know, you want to just summon a Fossil Dino and go. When you're playing against your Constellars, your Evil Swarms, your Girgias and those types of things, when they make their first turn XYZs, you just set your Fossil Dino, throw a couple back row, and pass. So, I mean, he made a lot of plays for me, so that was good. 1 Naturia Butterfly. This card looks like a complete and total, just horrendous card, but once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares attack, you mill the top card of your deck, and you negate the attack. So, I mean, turn 1 you can summon her, and then negate their first attack, but it's not very good, and it's just used for Beatron plays. Like, you special her from the grave with Beatron, you can go into your Black Rose, your Scrap Archfiend, things like that. Also, you can use Naturia Butterfly and Doomdozer to make a Star Eater, which I did once or twice. 3 normal trap holes. I mean, it's trap hole. Almost every deck in the format's going to have to normal summon before they go off on you, other than Dragon Rulers, but so that means this game too, you just side out your trap holes. This is also searchable by Mermelio, so that's why it's good. 3 safe zones. Keeping your monsters alive. It's also a target for your Beatrons if you have them face up on the field. Just like you can safe zone their monster, blow it up with Beatron, kill their monster, and special from your graveyard. So you plus with that. 3 Call of the Haunted. Special summons from the grave, so you can grab your Mermelios to blow up their back row. You can also grab your Beatrons and blow up the Call to special the Mermelio, but I don't know why you do that. It just makes plays from the graveyard, and it's also burnable by Beatron, so if you overlay with a called monster, it'll just sit on the field, and then you can use it later for Beatron. 3 Fiendish Chains, not safe zones. 3 Fiendish Chains, obvious, it's good, stops all their plays. And then it's also a Beatron target, so you can just, you know, blow it up, special summon, run over their monster, those types of things. 2 Mirror Force, 2 Deep Prisons, pretty staple. They're just good trap cards. The deck's very trap heavy. 1 TT, 1 Void Trap Hole, and 1 Traptrix Trap Hole, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. Void Trap Hole, when they special summon a 2000 attack or higher monster, you negate the effects and destroy. So I mean, that's good for all XYZs. basically anything else. Traptrix, Trap Hole Nightmare. When a monster activates its effect, you negate the effect and destroy, but only if the monster is special summon this turn. So also good against the XYZs or the various other plays that they just pull from the graveyard. So that's why that's in there. Bottomless, pretty obvious. 1 Compulse, 1 Warning, 1 Road. Compulse and Warning, pretty obvious staple cards. I run the Road because I don't want to play against decks like Black Wings and just lose my back row to an Icarus attack. I also don't want to play against Noble Knights, because that's one of the matches I lost this past weekend. I was playing against Noble Knights. He blew 4 with my back row with Artorigus' effect, and then I was just sad. 2 Pot of Dualities. You run very little monsters, so you need the pots to dig into your deck. I don't run 3 because I was running 3, but then instead of running a 3rd one, I decided to throw in 2 Shards of Greed. These cards, they're MST bait, keeping your back row alive. They're also Beatron targets, and they're a plus if your opponent lets you resolve them, which is nice. Which, every game I resolved the Shard, I won. 1 Seal. Your monsters are weak. Seal is not it's not one of the most important cards in the deck, but if you can drop Seal, it's always a good thing. Like, turns your Atrax and 23, your Melios and Beatrons to 2100s, so you can get over their normal summons. 1 Dark Hole. Yeah, that's obvious. The Seal is also good with your Doom Dozer, because then you can drop a 3300 Doom Dozer on the field and just nothing gets over that. For the extra deck, I played 1 Crazy Box. Didn't make it a single time. I was just doing that because I didn't expect to do well with the deck, and this is just a troll card. So yeah. 1 Papio Operative. It's a good card. If you're playing a deck that sets a lot, you can just flip them, run them over. If you run into a stall deck that's going to sit on a defense monster, you can just get over it. 1 Fairy King Alverdique. Didn't make him at all. Like, the deck, he's good, but your Beatron play is Beatrons at dark, so it doesn't work with Fairy King, but if you have 2 Traptrix, you can go in for your Fairy Kings. Maelstrom, one of my favorite XYZs, make it all the time. Maelstrom's just a good card. It gives you sustain on the field and survivability, and then your back row just keeps their monsters off the field. 1 Master Key Beetle, just for the sake that Beatrons can make it together. The deck doesn't need a lot of extra deck. So, you can throw in these weird tech cards. Like, if I make a Master Key, I did it once this weekend, made a Master Key with 2 Beatrons and hit it with the safe zone. That was just beautiful. 1 Roach, played these against your Heretics, your Dragoonities, things like that. Don't want them to bring out their 200 monsters. You can also play it against plant rulers, but not as good because they're just going to run it over, but if it stops them from grabbing their Synchros. 1 Cowboy. I make Cowboy all the time. I use Cowboy in attack sometimes too, because if they've got a big beater on the field, I just run it over, and then hope they don't hit Cowboy next turn so I can switch him to defense, but, whatever happens. Cowboy won me a couple games when I burned for the last of it. 1 Dweller, good for your Dragon Rulers, things like that. Mermails. This card stomps Mermails. Also, I play a Fire King deck this weekend. I did 2 Olin, but I made Dweller, and then he can't activate any of his, his Dragoonix effects, or his, effects where they special from the grave the turn after they're destroyed, so he kept their monsters off the field. 1 Black Ship. Black Ship's another card I make all the time. It's probably my favorite XYZ in the deck, followed by Cowboy and Maelstrom. You just Black Ship, blow their monster for 1,000, and then it gives you a monster in the grave if you have a call sitting on field, or sitting face down. 1 Catastor. I don't main a tuner that can bring out Catastor, but I do side in my Veilers pretty consistently, so that's why I threw Catastor in there. But I might swap this out for Armades. I haven't decided yet. X-Saber Urbellum, rank 7. This is for the turn 2s when they've got a bunch of cards in their hand. When you deal battle damage, you select a card in their hand and put it to the top of their deck. So it stops them from getting their draw for their turn effectively. Black Rose. This is when you're in a tight spot. You summon your Beatron, you grab your Naturia Butterfly from grave, and you make a Black Rose and just wipe the board. Scrap Archfiend. He's just a big beater that you bring out as a tuner. He's the next boss monster, followed by Doom Dozer, or preceding Doom Dozer. 1 Stardust for the road, and then 1 Star Eater. I made this a couple times. one game I safe zoned it, and that was awesome. Safe zoned my Star Eater, but 3200s from the newest set. You can't negate the synchro summon, and when summoned, cards can't be activated in response. When it attacks, it's unaffected by cards until the end of the damage step. So that's like your D-Prisons, Lances, and things. 2 DD Warrior Ladies. Side these in against a lot of decks. He's just a good deck. Like, it's a card that you're never upset about having against any deck. You banish your Ophions, you banish your Omegas, you banish your Pleiades, things like that. 2 Banishers. Side these against decks that are going to spam from the grave. Your Heretics, your Dragunities, things like that. 2 Veilers. Pretty obvious. You just tech in the Veiler against decks that you need to stop their searches. 2 Maxi, good for your spam decks. 1 Fossil Dino. I sided these in playing Constellars against Evil Swarms, against E-Dragons, anything. Like, anything. I sided these in against most decks, I'm not going to lie. He's just good. Another Starlight, in case I need it. I used 2 a couple times, but not too often. I sided out my road more than I sided the second one in. An extra Void Trap Hole and Traptrix Trap Hole, and also a Deep Dark Trap Hole. I'll get to this card in a second, but the Traptrix and the Void Trap Hole, they're for decks that don't normal summon. You side out your normal trap holes, you put these in to stop their specials. Deep Dark Trap Hole, when a level 5 or higher monster is special summoned, you just banish it. It's not destroy and banish, just banish. Gets through Stardust. Gets rid of scraps. Gets rid of every big synchro, which is why Dragunities, Tuner Dragon, or Plant Tuners, whatever that deck is called, Heretics, when they go for their big tuners, you just banish them straight up. That's good. And then 2 MSTs. Side these in when you know they're siding their decrees against you. Just take care of their back row. That's about it. Got 25th. I lost to Noble Knights round 1. We went into turns. He's Luxx, Dark Hole, blows my field, swings once, ends his turn. Like, we were on turns at that point, or that was the last turn. He's ended in 1. Later in the day, I lost to a Constellar matchup. He drew 2 Lances in his starting hand, so he just nagged me for a bunch when I went to get rid of his Omega. That was bad, but overall, 7-2, top 25, right, 25th place. Top 48, I got my national invite. As far as I'm aware, I'm the first person to top an event using top a big event using Traptrix. It's just, people didn't see it coming, and it's a trap heavy deck, so it stops a lot of the fast decks of this format. So,